Are you tired of seeing debug strings in your release builds? It can be frustrating when you think you've disabled them, only to find out they're still lurking in your compiled app. Today, we're going to tackle this issue head-on and show you how to eliminate those pesky debug strings. I completely understand your concern. Many developers have faced the same issue when trying to keep their release builds clean. It's a common problem, and you're definitely not alone in this. Let's dive into the specific question at hand. One user asked, how can I remove debug strings from my release build when using the log debug function? They mentioned using a define flag to disable the function, but the debug strings still appear in the compiled app. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what's going on here? Even with the define flag, the debug strings can still be included in the binary if they are not properly optimized out. This can happen due to how the compiler handles the code during the build process. Let's break it down step by step. And stick around. I have a great tip at the end that will help you ensure your release builds are clean and efficient. To eliminate debug strings from the release build, the user should first ensure that the debug logging is completely removed during compilation. This can be achieved by using conditional compilation effectively. Next, the user should modify the logging macro to ensure that it does not leave any remnants in the release build. This can be done by using the preprocessor directive to exclude the entire logging statement. After updating the macro, the user should also consider using compiler optimization flags. The user can enable optimizations that remove unused code, which can help eliminate any leftover debug strings. Finally, the user should compile the application in release mode and verify that the debug strings are no longer present. They can use the strings command to check the compiled binary. Fun fact, did you know that the first programming languages were created in the 1950s? Back then, debugging was a whole different ballgame, often involving physical rewiring of machines. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution involves using stringification in your logging function. This method allows you to pass a string directly to the log debug macro, which will print the debug information only when the debug flag is defined. The user tested this approach in Clang, which did not show the same issue with debug strings appearing in the release build. Here's the pro tip I promised. Always review your logging practices and consider using conditional compilation to ensure that debug logs are completely excluded from your release builds. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be able to eliminate those debug strings from your release builds. Remember, keeping your code clean is essential for performance. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks.